Welcome everybody to my tiny cramped garage where I have obtained this beauty. It is a 1994 Honda VT600 Shadow. I took this off of a friend who started it as a project to sort of did a bit of a bobber conversion, cleaned up some of the welds on the back quite nicely, but it is in an absolute state. There are bits missing. There is a box of stuff. Some of it is for this bike, some of it is just he didn't even know what it was for. I've built a bike before. It was my first bike that I built. It was a Suzuki Bandit Street Fighter. Nothing that original, but it was a good laugh. I'll see if I can find a photo of it somewhere and add it in. I am going to strip this down and do as much as I can to turn it into a nice custom bobber. Well, there we go. That's pretty much everything what I would consider non-structural taken off the bike. So that's pretty much everything off the handlebars. I mean, there wasn't a front headlight to begin with. Brake calipers still on there. I've got, a couple of wires that go into the behind the crankcases that I can't do. Carbs will probably be the next thing to come off. Everything behind here, the radiator's off. Basically, I've got all the hand controls, the clocks. The master reservoir is still full. This coolant tank will be going as soon as I've emptied it. Seats off, radiators off, coils are off, tanks off. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing I love about these bikes. There's just not really a lot to them. Pulled the exhaust off as well. That was just a couple of bolts, not really a problem. So, I mean, all in all, that probably took, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, something like that. Wasn't long at all. What I'm going to do now is I'm probably just going to label up all the wiring and things so I know where things came from. Probably pull off a couple more bolts that I've left in the frame. I don't know what I am going to keep and what I'm not going to keep just yet, so I'll probably label those up, and then once the frame's stripped, the engine's out, wheels are off. Basically the plan for this bike is the frame is going to get a little bit of fabrication done. I want to either bolt on or weld on a battery box, move that down to where the old coolant reservoir used to be. I'm thinking possibly of keeping this one as a monoshock, but this whole thing has been painted and there is paint everywhere. So as much as even these little details here, they look nice at a distance, but if you get right in close, they're just, I don't know, they're all a bit messy. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with those yet, but cross that bridge when we get to it. But essentially the plan for this bike is strip the whole frame down, do a little bit of fabrication, battery box, maybe cut off some you know, cable retention tabs that don't need any more. Maybe weld on a couple more little bits, brackets and things for where I want to relocate switches or buttons and things like that. But essentially, once that's done, this whole frame is going to go to a sandblast in place. They're going to strip it down. I'll get it powder coated. And then it's just going to be a case of, I think, starting from the front, working my way back. I'm going to rebuild the forks, recondition the calipers. They are in an absolutely shocking state. I am going to fit velocity stacks to the carbs. This is a dual carb bike because it's 94. So these are going to require rebuilding because they are absolutely filthy. Probably full of gunk. Yeah, I am undecided whether I'm going to take the cylinder heads apart yet. They're a bit dirty, but this bike's only done 25,000 miles. And it's not a lot. It's only had 3 owners. I'm now the 4th. So I don't know, but I don't know how long it's been sitting there. So I think what I'm going to do is, once I've got the crankcases off, I will probably assess the engine. I can see these have come off already at some point. It's had someone's installed stainless bolts, and I can tell the gaskets aren't that old. But my mate did say this had been sat for quite a while. He had a few bikes, and this was, I think, one of the last on his list. So I don't know what we're going to find in there. I'm just trying to remove the oil filler cap, but it is absolutely seized on there. So basically the plan is take it to bits, clean her up, weld her up, put it back together, and hopefully with new paint and a bit of love, we'll get her fired up and get her back on the road. That'd be good. So it's been a day or two. I have spent a bit of time. I've tidied up my workbench. I've tidied up my garage. I've added some shelves. So I've also emptied out this giant crate of parts, which is completely empty now. I've gone through all the parts which I believe belong on the bike. There's a few bits down here, some of which I'm yet to identify, mainly brackets and things, nothing too crazy. Some of that's extra stuff. There were some extra bits that don't belong on this bike at all. So, yeah, basically I have thrown away all the bits that I don't need. And basically going to work on getting the motor out. I'm getting another shadow coming in the next couple of days, which is actually able to go on the road, so I'll be able to ride that while I'm messing about with this one. Still trying to decide what I want to do with this one. I don't know if I'm going to do a mono strut and then maybe like a Springer front end, keep the higher handlebars, make this one more of like a chopper style, not really sure, and then make the other one like a sort of more like a low rider bobber eventually when I get around to doing that one. But yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get the motor out. So I have taken the back wheel off. The swing arm pivot bolt is really stuck. I've been hammering on that thing. and it is not budging. So I have soaked it in WD-40. I'm probably going to leave that overnight. I've applied some heat to it. But in the meantime, I was going to remove the front wheel. Now, the second problem I've run into is this is a 17mm Allen. I have a 14. I don't have anything bigger. But there was a trick I saw, which I'll give a go. As long as this isn't seized, which it very well could be, we'll give it a go. So you take your, or in my case, a 14, get a 3, get that in there square as I can. That doesn't feel too good. Put it in there, and hopefully, yes, 14 plus a 3 is a 17. Obviously, if you've got a seized axle, probably don't try that. But there you go. Obviously be careful, you don't want to break that off in there. But in this instance, that worked out quite nicely. There you go. So I'm now removing the head bearing races in here. I've already got the bottom one out. Bottom one's usually the worst. I don't have the proper tool for this, which is going to be a recurring theme. So in order to get this guy out, I used a long neck, I guess, screwdriver with a bent over end, just hooked over like that. And I'll cut off the top. And basically how this works is you would put it down inside. Well, I might as well show you. I'm doing the top one now. So goes up inside here, and you'll see, I don't know if you can see, see if I can get a better view. Goes up underneath there, underneath the lip, and then essentially it is just a case of tapping it there with a hammer, obviously, not just your fingers. Yeah, trying to tap it out equally on each side, top, bottom, front, back, and then, you know, with any luck, it pops out. So yeah, I'm sure there's a proper sort of bearing puller tool, but I've used this twice. I've used this now. This thing will give up eventually, but it'll do for today. And there you go. That's both head bearing races out. They don't look too bad. I don't know when these were replaced, but as with everything, I mean, this bike is what, 33 years old. So the guy who had it before me was changing it into a bobber. I don't know how far along he got with that, or what he even did. My last Street Fighter, the Bandit, I replaced every bearing on that bike. The whole thing was pretty much brand new. But that's basically what I'm going to try and do with this one. Replace all the, you know, wear and tear parts, all the parts that are meant to be maintained over the years, and then it should run pretty good. That's the theory anyway. So after an absolute age and absolutely epic battle of will, I've managed to get the engine out. The issue was the swing arm bolt was completely rusted and seized inside the motor mount here, in here. So what I ended up having to do was angle grind off the end, wherever that is, angle grind off the end, and using my drift, and then sort of tap it through the back of the engine, knock it through that way. I've ordered a new one of these, not brand new, but a guy on eBay was selling one with all the you know, the collars and stuff, because unfortunately to get it off I had to cut through one of the collars, but that is done now. So the swing arm is off, the frame is free. I've just got to remove the side stand and side stand switch, and also the brake, rear brake rod thingy, and then the engine is there on its own, ready to be looked at individually. But yeah, right pain, but you know, it wouldn't be a fun hobby if you didn't run into these issues.